Ever wonder how a full moon can change the course of your normal night out? Picture this: a group of social media influencers, each one radiant with ambition, land in Miami, the city of sun, sand, and surreal nightlife. They've come for an epic full moon party, their hearts pounding with anticipation, their minds brimming with visions of likes and follows. There's Jake, the charismatic daredevil always ready for an adventure. Then we have Bella, the glamorous fashionista, who can turn any sidewalk into a runway. Don't forget about Max, the witty intellect with a knack for capturing the perfect moment. And finally, there's Lily, the soulful artist, who finds beauty in the most mundane things. Their excitement is palpable, their dreams as high as the skyscrapers. They're ready to soak in the Miami vibes, to dance under the silver glow of the full moon. As they step onto the sun-kissed streets, little do they know what the night has in store for them. As the sun sets, the full moon starts to dominate the sky, casting an eerie glow over Miami. The city, known for its vibrant nightlife, is alive with anticipation. The influencers, our protagonists for tonight, begin their revelry. They are drawn to the pulsating beat of music, the infectious energy of the crowd, and the allure of the moonlit beach. In the midst of the radiant cityscape, they find themselves immersed in a world of flashing lights and fleeting moments, each one captured and shared with their followers. Every selfie, every boomerang, every live stream is a testament to the grandeur of the night. The party is in full swing, a spectacle of joy and amusement under the watchful eye of the full moon. But beneath the laughter and the cheers, the clinking glasses and the thudding bass, a sense of unease begins to creep in. The full moon, usually a distant and benign presence, now looms large and bright in the sky. Its luminescence, once comforting, now seems almost unnatural. The moon, in its silent vigil, seems to cast long, strange shadows that dance and flicker in the corners of their eyes. The influencers, ever observant, can't help but notice the peculiar brightness of the moon. Its light, reflecting off the ocean waves, paints a surreal picture. Their posts, initially filled with jubilation, now carry subtle hints of apprehension. Their captions, once brimming with excitement, now echo with a quiet disquiet. The party continues, the music grows louder, the crowd becomes more animated. Yet, the moon continues to shine with an unyielding intensity, its light permeating every corner of the beach. As the night deepens, the partygoers, too engrossed in their revelry, remain oblivious to the unnerving spectacle unfolding above them. Yet, as the party pushes on, strange occurrences begin to unfold. The night, once a canvas of celebration, now seems to hold an ominous secret, waiting to be unraveled. The full moon, once a symbol of enchantment, now serves as a foreboding harbinger of the horror that is yet to come. Have you ever felt a chill run down your spine, even when you're surrounded by a crowd? A question that our influencers would soon understand in a way they never imagined. As the full moon party on South Beach escalated, a shroud of unease began to descend. The first signs were subtle, almost laughable. Their posts, usually met with a flurry of likes and heart eye emojis, started accumulating odd comments. Cryptic messages filled with moon and wolf emojis, eerie warnings against the full moon, unsettled emojis. The influencers laughed it off, attributing these strange interactions to trolls or overzealous fans. But as the night wore on, the unsettling occurrences didn't stop at their social media notifications. Their followers began reporting strange noises in the background of their live videos: a low growl, a distant howl, or a rustling that wasn't quite right. Some even claimed to hear whispers, as though a crowd was murmuring just out of the frame. Despite the tropical warmth, a chill seemed to seep through their screens, reaching out to each influencer. Their smiles wavered, their laughter grew forced. The party continued, but the atmosphere had shifted. The music seemed too loud, the lights too bright. The palm trees swayed ominously against the backdrop of the full moon, casting long, dark shadows that seemed to dance with a life of their own. The influencers tried to shrug it off, keep the party vibes alive. They posted more, laughed louder, drank more. But the sense of dread was growing, gnawing at the edges of their consciousness. The full moon loomed ominously over them, bathing everything in an eerie silver light. The beach, once a place of fun and laughter, now felt like a stage set for an unseen terror. And then, just as the moon reached its peak, the real horror began. The party music was drowned out by a deafening roar, a sound so terrifying it could freeze the blood in your veins. The influencers stared in horror, their phones dropping from their hands as they faced the unseen terror. As the moon reaches its peak, the real horror begins. What if the most awaited party of your life turns into your worst nightmare? This is the question that begins to haunt our group of influencers as they party under the full moon in Miami. The music pumps, the neon lights flash, but there's something else now, something that cuts through the revelry. It's a sound that chills the blood and sets the heart racing. Screams and snarls, more animal than human, echo through the night, bouncing off the palm trees and skyscrapers. Confusion spreads through the crowd. People start to panic, their laughter turning into cries of fear. The influencers, however, decide to stand their ground. They've seen enough horror movies to know that panic only leads to disaster. Besides, they've built their online fame on being daring and adventurous. They can't back down now, not when their followers are watching. They venture into the darkness, hoping against hope that this is just some elaborate prank. After all, who hasn't heard of social media stunts gone too far? But as they walk further from the safety of the party, the sounds grow louder, more terrifying. The screams are filled with pain and terror, the snarls with menace and hunger. Suddenly they stumble upon a horrifying sight. It's not a prank, it's not a stunt, it's real. It's too real. They can't share what they see, can't tweet it or post it on Instagram. No amount of likes or follows is worth this. They realize that they've walked into a nightmare that they might not walk out of, but what they find is far from a mere prank. This is a horrifying revelation, a realization that their pursuit of likes and followers has led them into a trap. They're not the partygoers anymore. They are the prey. The full moon over Miami, once a symbol of their epic party, now casts long, menacing shadows that hide unimaginable horrors. When the party of a lifetime becomes a run for your life, the influencers, once the life of the party, are now trapped in a nightmare. Their glittering soiree under the Miami moon is turned into a terrifying chase. The snarls and screams that once seemed distant are now all too close. They're not just partygoers anymore, they're survivors. Their high heels and loafers are replaced with fear and adrenaline, their laughter with gasps of terror. In their panic, they do what they know best, they turn on their cameras. Documenting their harrowing experience, they're not just seeking likes and follows, but a lifeline. Their followers are their only hope. Each post, each live stream is a desperate plea for help, a digital SOS sent into the void of cyberspace. Their glitzy Instagram stories have turned into real-time horror tales, their glamorous selfies into terrified faces illuminated by the glow of their screens. They scramble through the neon-lit streets of South Beach, their hearts pounding in sync with the ominous beat of the unseen terror. The once crowded beach is now deserted, the palm trees casting long, eerie shadows in the moonlight. The terror is palpable, the fear is real, and the stakes have never been higher. As they navigate the labyrinth of streets, the influencers use their digital influence like a compass, their followers providing real-time guidance and support. The digital world becomes their guide, their beacon of hope in the darkest of nights. And then, as the first rays of the dawn break through the darkness, they see it the way out. Their escape route. Their followers have led them to safety, out of the clutches of the unseen horror. Their breaths come in ragged gasps, their hearts still pounding, but they've made it. They've survived. As the sun starts to rise, they finally escape, leaving behind a night they will never forget. When the dawn breaks, the horror of the night seems like a distant memory. But is it really over? As sunlight pours over the Miami skyline, our influencers are left to ponder the events of the previous night. The screams, the snarls, the terror that gripped them as the full moon hovered ominously overhead. Was it all just a fever dream, a figment of their overactive imaginations, spurred on by the mystical allure of the lunar spectacle? Or did they truly dance with unspeakable horror under the Miami moonlight? Each one is left with a chilling sense of uncertainty, an echo of dread that lingers long after the party's over. They're left questioning their own sanity, their own reality. This harrowing experience has forever changed them, leaving an indelible mark that goes beyond the likes and follows they sought. As they leave Miami, they can't help but wonder, will the horror return on the next full moon?